What's going on YouTube? It's your boy Thomas, and today I'm talking about everything you guys need to know about a Supreme season. We're here at the end of spring summer 2025, and I get a lot of questions around this time of year. When is the Supreme sale, Thomas? When is Supreme coming back for the next season? So I figured let's break it down today. Start with how a Supreme season starts, what our schedule is for releases, and what we can expect in the upcoming week or two on announcements about a potential spring-summer 2025 sale. So if you guys enjoy your weekly dose of Supreme, streetwear, and other related content, then be sure to hit like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that noti bell so you can stay up to date every single time I post and go live. We got a big stream this week, ladies and gentlemen, on Thursday, July the 10th. There is unfortunately no Supreme drop, but what there is SupThomas's 5K subscriber giveaway. If you haven't seen my community tab post already, go to my page, click community tab, and follow the instructions on that post. I'm giving away a box logo sweatshirt, a free Supreme jersey, numerous other mystery prizes, some other stuff is coming in the mail. It's gonna be awesome. The stream is starting around 8:15 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. That's 11:15 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, a little bit later than usual. And I plan on doing the giveaway at 9 a.m. PST, about 45 minutes into the stream. So all that out of the way, let's get into the video and talk about some Supreme. Now, for a lot of you guys, this video is gonna seem pretty elementary, and if it's not interesting to you, that's all right. But for those of you that are newer, or for people that are older and forgot, or anybody in between, we can all use a bit of a refresher. So the way a Supreme season works is this. In early August, we will usually get some teaser images for the fall-winter season. Right now, it's the beginning of July. The spring-summer season just ended. Supreme seasons on average are about 20 weeks long, give or take a few here and there. And Supreme releases new products every Thursday at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Supreme.com, at least in the US. In Asia, it's at a different time. There's also the in-store release that coincides with every single drop. Speaking of that, let's just look through every single Supreme store on their website so we can all get refreshed on where those all are and how that all works. Here we are on Supreme.com, and like I said before, along with the online release, obviously we have the store in New York at 190 Bowery, the store in Brooklyn at 152 Grand Street, San Francisco at 1015 Market Street, the West Hollywood location on Sunset Boulevard, the Miami store on 41st Street, the newest Supreme store that opened for the first time this season, the London store on Peter Street, the Paris store at Rue Barbette, Paris, the Milan store at Corso Garibaldi, the Berlin store on Torstrasse. We got the Shibuya store in Shibuya, Japan. The Osaka store, also in Japan. The Harajuku store, again, in Japan. You got it, Japan. The Fukuoka store, also in Japan. The Daikanyama store, again, Japan, guys. It has the most Supreme stores by far. And the last Japanese store is in Nagoya. And then our two second and third most recent stores are Shanghai, which this is pretty dope looking. I like this setup here. And the Seoul store. One day we will have to go to all these Supreme stores, folks. That will be awesome. Wasn't planning on going down that tangent, but I think it's relevant. All right, we took a bit of a detour looking at all of the Supreme stores, and I think actually we're gonna go change locations real quick. Much better. But I think that detour was worth it because I get a lot of questions about the Supreme store experience, and unfortunately, I am not the best person to ask, but I do have some info. So when the Supreme stores do their releases, it's either first come, first serve, or they have a reservation. And the way the reservation works is you go to a website called waitwhile.com. And if it's during a Supreme week, it will have the various stores showing on the screen. Here is what that looks like. So if I wanted to sign up for Supreme Chicago, I would click this, and it's closed at the moment, but if registration was open, I would click a time slot like 11 a.m., 10:15, 12 p.m. And that's the time that I'm able to show up to the store. I assume you show them your phone at the door, and it basically makes it an easier experience. For big releases, it's kind of their answer to people camping out. There still are opportunities for people to camp out. Shout out to Ernest Khan, the homie, for holding it down. Let's actually watch a little bit of Ernest's video for a second here. I think it might be very helpful for what we're currently doing. And if you guys haven't already, make sure you subscribe. All right, so here's Ernest waiting in line for the AOY hooded work jacket outside of Supreme San Francisco. Let's take a look at what the waiting experience is like for them here. Just chilling outside the store. Not a great example for in-store registration because this was a first come first serve release, but I think it's still important. We'll let it play out. I think he's about to go inside the store.
More minutes before doors open.
Damn, Ernest, where'd you get the in-hand lookbook? I don't even have that.
Let's go! Man, I'll see you in a bit. All right. Hey man, how's it going? Just gonna get one of these. Damn, dude. Freaking ale.
There it is. And that's just an example of an in-store pickup versus online, where you obviously go to supreme.com/shop and go to your favorite item, pick it up. And I guess we might as well do a little recap on how the initial drops work in the first place. Before I got carried away on that huge tangent on the in-store experience, I was talking about the Supreme seasons starting in early August for fall winter and then in early March for spring summer. Essentially, what will happen is they will release a preview. The preview is every single item that is coming out from a Supreme season. Here is the spring summer 2025 preview that we had, and this is every single main Supreme item they are releasing, every core non-collaborated Supreme item. I mean, some are collaborations, but they're not like teaming up with a brand new company and showing them off for the first time. Like, yes, we have ET here, technically a collab, but that's different from when Supreme teamed up with Good Enough this year. That was a collab we didn't know about, but when they dropped it, it was a surprise, it was fun, and that's the difference between those two. They also drop a lookbook at the same time, which features multiple different fits from the season and gives us a good overview on stylistically where the season is going and some of the better pieces. And I know as a YouTuber, I've been able to tell that some of the most anticipated pieces of the season come from these lookbooks. I think people see the vision, they see the outfit being put together, and that makes us excited for it. It gives us joy to say, I'd like to look like that. That's a cool idea. Well, I've had this in the back of my mind for a couple weeks now. I really want this AOY Flames jacket, man. Look at that embroidery, that's pretty freaking nuts. And that's more or less the way it goes. Again, guys, I know this is pretty rudimentary stuff for some of you, but I wanted to create a video where we can just talk about all this in one place, like a Supreme overview, a guide, or a how-to. So if it's been interesting to you at all, let me know in the comments down below. Or maybe some other questions you want me to answer in a part 2 about Supreme misconceptions or anything like that. I'm happy to showcase some of my experience with the brand after many years of competent reviewing it and talking about it ad nauseum on the internet. Now let's get more specifically into the drops themselves. So for those of you that have been on the channel for a while, this website should not be a surprise to any of y'all. It's supremecommunity.com, which is a fantastic website that covers drop lists, overviews, left to drop, all kinds of stuff on this website. I usually hide the toolbar up here, but very helpful stuff. You got release times. You want to know what time Supreme drops at, they'll tell you. The most important thing is definitely the drop lists. The drop list is essentially everything that Supreme is releasing for an upcoming week. So the very first drop for spring summer 2025 was actually February 20th, which is super early. I always thought it was early March, but late February, we got lucky this year, folks, and this was the very first week of Supreme this year. And essentially, people in the leaker community that know what's coming out basically release this information a couple days before Supreme drops on Thursdays at 11 a.m. EST US, 4 p.m. GMT in the UK, and 17 CET in the EU. Supreme for the past few years has also been posting stuff on their Instagram story before a drop, usually on Wednesdays, to give people a a heads up. Sometimes it's a Thursday too, like the morning of, they'll put stuff on their story of what's coming out that day. But if you're a die-hard member of the community, if you're subscribed to my channel, you probably already know what's coming out from Preem before they post about it. But this is just a website that's entirely community run, hence the name Supreme Community, and everybody basically gets to vote on these items. If you like an item coming out, you can give it a like. If you don't like an item, you can give it a dislike, and essentially this gets tabulated and we get to see what the most anticipated item is, in quotes. It's not perfect, but you can see here the backpacks were pretty much the highest item that was not a gift, and these did sell out for a bit, even though the pink ones may be still in stock on the website. Covered this a few weeks ago. Yep, the pink backpack still in stock. I mean, this is easy money right now. I'm telling you, this will sell out, this will resell, get it while you can. But essentially, the Supreme items come out on Thursday on the website, in store. I'm here live streaming every single Thursday talking about it. We do that for a number of different weeks. You can see we started this season on February 20th and we ended last Thursday on July the 3rd with, to be honest, one of the saddest Supreme drops of all time. Last drop of the season, and that's what community has updated there. But we should expect a sale coming up very soon. Now, what is a Supreme sale, you ask? Well, it's pretty simple. Supreme is a massive entity at this point. They've been sold for upwards of $2 billion. They're owned by private equity companies. It's not the same startup brand that James Jebbia created back in 1994. So what I'm trying to say is they've got some excess inventory. And for the items that have sat around in store for a bit, they do in-store sales no matter where you are. I'm pretty sure no matter where, they will have discounted sales of like 15 to 40% off. I think that's the highest you'll ever see on the in-store experience. This is where I need you guys in the comments to show out and tell me what are the prices like in store. I know when they do sales online, which is a relatively new phenomenon. I believe COVID is when it started, maybe a few seasons prior to. I will remember all this information when the season is happening, and then as soon as the season's over, I forget it all. Because to be honest, the stuff you get on the sale, it's nothing insane. It's not box logos. We're not getting reissues of Tyler the Creator tees. It's nothing like that. It's the items that no one really wanted in the first place. They sat around, so they throw us a bone and give us maybe 20, 30% off. There's a couple items that I remember have been pretty good, like the flight gingham pants in 2022. I don't know why I slept on those. I'm still kind of looking for those maybe, but hopefully we'll get an announcement in the next week or two. Typically the sale will go live 2 weeks after the last drop. This week, Monday, July 7th through Sunday the 13th is typically a dead Supreme week. Hopefully we'll get that sale information early next week, or maybe later this week. We'll get some information from Supreme drops, etc. I don't have that intel, so I'm reliant on the main Twitter accounts, but essentially, we get the sale, it might restock a couple times, or we just get one run through of items, and then that's it. Eventually, a few weeks will pass, Supreme will close its store for a bit, the in-store closes for the least amount of time, I believe. Those stay open a bit longer, and then likely we'll get some tricklings of news like skate videos, maybe some people spotted in the wild wearing new Supreme. I'll definitely be posting about it, and then as early as mid-August, late August, we should be getting fall winter 2025. Last year, it started on August 22nd for 2024. The year before, we had August 17th. So there is a bit of wiggle room depending on how Supreme's feeling. Let's look at one more year prior. Fall winter 22 was August 25th. But that is pretty much it, guys. I have been talking your ear off about how a Supreme season essentially works. I don't know if that was interesting at all or informative. I definitely didn't have a script, so you can know I'm going off the dome. But hopefully that was somewhat understandable and you guys got something out of it. If you did, leave a like and comment down below. Again, be sure to tune in for my weekly stream this Thursday for my 5K subscriber giveaway. It is starting about an hour later, so if you're there early and I'm not live yet, just wait around for a bit and be sure to get your entry in. Members will get additional entries depending on how long they've been a member for. You can also donate to the channel via YouTube Super Chat or Streamlabs. Links for those are in the description down below. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and stay tuned for all information on the Supreme Spring Summer 25 sale and hopefully soon Fall Winter 2025. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.